Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy P Farm Thinking Right out here in my lab, and I'm in the book. About to have a good lesson. We about to tie Maat in with the Kundalini Chakras. Good concept. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking is way of life. Through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get that together. So I asked the question, do you know you? Well, when I'm through, yeah, that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is, a person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and two. Maat, be true. Speaking of Maat, that's where we are. Oh, we're going to be here for a minute because I'm going to go page by page. I done made a decision. We're going to be Maat, be in this rabbit hole. I'm not leaving until we get to the end of this book. So be prepared. We in Maat, path of action, the path of action to enlightenment. This lesson is called Maat and the Serpent Power. I'm telling you, Maat and the Serpent Power, a.k.a. Chakras or Kundalini, are one and the same, different names. Pay attention. I'm gonna break it down for you. I got another book over here I'm gonna use. Oh, I got books. I got books. This is the Serpent Power book. I got some information I might want to use out of here, so get ready. I'm teaching now. Let's rock. Maat, again, Maat philosophy is intimately, closely related to the teachings of what we call in Egypt WRIGHT, A-R-A-T, Shechem, Serpent Power. That's the book I just showed you. And what I found out about this serpent thing, the serpent is our backbone. In every religion, the serpent represents the spinal column. I'm just finding some things out. I'm, again, putting the dots together, connecting. Oh, I'm starting to see a whole lot of stuff. So I'm going to try to bring you in as much as I could to it from my better perspective, from what I understand. The WRIGHT Shechem is what they call the dormant life force, which every human being possesses. You see it in India, when you see the guy playing the flute with the serpent, the cobra comes out. That's the female aspect of your force that's inside you. Okay? And they do. And she come out, she do her little dance. Okay? That's the serpent. I got some pictures for you. The serpent is everywhere. Okay? Serpent goddess. That's Tahuti with the two serpents on the caduceus. Today, the serpent that's for us is Neptet and Aset. That's Asar, the staff. Okay? That's the medical sign to this day. That's Aset again in her single form. You'll see it again down here. But all these are serpents. Everybody has a spinal column, so they have serpent power in them. They have displayed it that way. But now we're going to show you about the chakras and what they call Kundalini. But we call it serpent power because it represents the serpent that's coiled up 3.5 times in the sacrum. And when you hit the right note, when you live right and virtuous, it activates, and that's how he comes alive. Okay, symbolically, metaphorically, conceptually. All right, but it activates what? In accordance with the person's level of virtue and righteous living. I got enlightened because I was practicing this, okay, and doing it, and all of a sudden it happened. Ding, 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 fireworks, all hell started breaking loose. I didn't know what was going on, but that's how I got mine, by virtuous and righteous living. So I know that happens automatically. I wasn't practicing for that. I wasn't ready for it. And that is what, the more virtuous and righteous the person, the more the life force awakens. I know that for a fact. And as it awakens, it also leads a human being to the heights of what we call spiritual enlightenment. The Egyptians had a word called nihas. That's when you become one with God. That's what the goal for right thinkers or Maat philosophy followers, to reach nihas, self-mastery, okay? Becoming one with your higher self. But this process, watch this process happens automatically. And this is what Christ tried to tell you. So it is important to what? Lead a life of righteous and virtue, which leads to what we call Mayat Ab. That's called purifying one's heart. Just gave that lesson. Live right, do right, lighten the heart from the nonsense, the egoistic, jealous ideas of the ego. That's how you purify your heart. And you can do that on a daily basis. But the following images that come from the papyrus known as the Pert Im Haru, or Book of Enlightenment, coming forth by day. Enlightenment means to give you information that you didn't have previously. I'm here every day, hopefully giving you just that, enlightening you to something that you didn't already know, which is yourself. Okay, that's what I do for you. And it says here, for more information, check out the book, The Serpent Power. I got it for you right here. The reason I use it because I got information to show you about the serpent and Maya. There we go, right here. This is the coiled serpent that's inside your body, 3.5 times from the Indian concept. Down here, you see, I said enough that they call Mayate the twin sisters. They watching. This is the jackal. That's Anubis. And Judgment Day, you see Mayat. You see your heart. That's the ab. And the idea is to get your heart light as Mayat's feather by living right. That's why I say Mayat teaching you, getting you ready for Judgment Day, for how to purify one's heart. Okay? That's what she does. The ancient Egyptian, the Greenfield Papyrus, and the Egyptian Book of Coming Forth by Day, which are both treatises of the Assyrian resurrection religion of ancient Egypt, and it contains important esoteric teachings that's in reference to what was in ancient times called Arat Shechem, or we know it as serpent power. Okay, the twins. I said, and that's that. In India, called India Pingala, Ida and Pingala. Okay, and everybody had it. Everybody got the serpent concept, and that's why I just come up with that conclusion. All right, but serpent power, and is today commonly known as what? Kundalini yoga out of India, or the chakras. Okay, but we explored both of these in the book of Egyptian yoga. I went to that book when I first started out, The Philosophy of Enlightenment. And here we now will discuss some more what we call advanced theory related to what we call the serpent power. And the first level of serpent power yoga is meditation. I've been meditating now over 15 years, okay? Getting pretty good at that thing, and it helps. Yoga meditation, there is an audio tape that they give you. They can practice with that, listen to it, help you meditate. I ain't into all that. But if you're interested in that, get in touch with the people from the publisher, the Bible distributor. I ain't doing that. But the subject of life force, energy, and the sublimation of sexual energy, what does that mean? Fellas, women have a menstrual cycle where they ovulate and they bleed for a few days, get the rest of the blood out of their body. But men, we have what they call a refreshment cycle, okay? A new batch of what? Cerebrospinal fluid. And if you don't waste it by masturbating, having sex, if you refrain, supplement that energy, keep it inside your body, it adds years to your life. Pay attention. Semen retention was the thing. That's what the monasteries practice. They get you more spiritual. Okay. So that energy that you save inside you makes you more spiritual. It helps you into what? Your spiritual energy that exists many thousands of years ago. We knew this. And in Egypt, right? Prior to its development in the modern India under the name Kundalini, or we know Kundalini Yoga, it later appears in many parts of the world now, but it did not find it extensive documentation until the sages of India composed this volume of scripture in relation to Kundalini Yoga. Now it's all over the place. Okay, you got Hatha Yoga, you got all kinds of Kairi Yoga, all kinds of different methods and styles they use. Okay, but as in the Indian chakra system, watch this. We had our own. We call it the Bara Safa, the 5 souls of Ra, the 7 souls of Ra, and the 5 balancing scales, the spheres of, my girl, Maat. I get to that in a minute. Right now, I'm getting this, so I caught somewhat the fluff. I got to get through it to set you up for the next lesson. But here we go. Now, you got in the Kundalini chakra system, the Egyptians had what we call the 7 powers. And they are both related to the 7 energy centers in the subtle body. We can't see them, but we know they're there, which are not visible. Okay, so we know you can't see them. You just take it for granted it's there. But to the ordinary eye, you can't see it, but are in the same space as what? Your physical spine. The serpent, that's the spine. So not in the same plane, right, as the physical body. So it's in the astral, it's inside the nervous system, okay? They are linked to what they call the awakening of one's spiritual powers and becoming conscious. As one progresses on their spiritual path, learning, living, and getting better of evolution, spiritual enlightenment, while either purposely employing a yoga spiritual discipline, which I practice daily, have been for years, and studying daily, and then the application of your spiritual and your philosophical scripture, you have to put them to use, implement them in your daily life, practice them in reflection and meditation. All those things should be a routine, and I have one, and I've been doing it for years. Or learning how, through the process, this is the worst one, trial and error. It'll take you a bunch of life cycles to know thyself on that level, doing it that way. Daily study, practice of a teaching that's been proven to work will get you there a lot quicker than the trial and error. Some people prefer the hard way, all right? But these centers will, watch this, will automatically open. They will automatically open when you start living right, virtuous and righteous, allowing one to now experience what they call increasing what? Communion with what? Your higher self, aka God. I don't tell you I believe in God. I tell you I know God. I communicate with God. God communicates with me. Man, you want some stuff. Okay, well, I've been on for 15 years now. What you want? What you know about God? Moving on. The process of raising one's spiritual power may be aided by specific daily exercises, such as what? Meditate, prayer, gym, lessons, and then study in that order, such as concentration, prepare proper breathing. I forgot that one. Yeah, proper breathing technique is always important. I watched the show for an hour on breathing techniques. You should pay attention. Meditation, my favorite. On what? You meditate on the meaning of your spiritual symbolisms and your understanding, and you're surrendering to what? The will of your higher self, God. Let your conscience be your God. If you come conscious, you God conscious, let him lead you. In my case, let her, Maat, lead you. These teachings, these techniques will always allow one to transform what? One's waking personality. There have to be a transformation from ignorance to enlightenment. You can't go from enlightenment to ignorance. That's not a transformation. That's a demotion. But you're supposed to go from not knowing to knowing. That's a transformation that's positive for you in your waking personality. That means you're becoming aware, you're becoming conscious, so that now you may be able to discover who? Your inner self. Who's that? God. And become one with him like Christ did. He told you that. Father and I are one. Okay, I tell you, becoming one with God. Why? When you becoming conscious of him and you live right and do right, you'll know, and you'll get the message from him that you're doing the right thing through the blessings that he bestowed on you. You know what they are. Okay? Now, this should be done under the guidance of what? A qualified teacher, a spiritual master, aka a sage. Me. I can do that for you. I've been doing it for the last 6 years. Those who've been practicing learning, appreciate your comments and seeing how it works in your life. Trust me, I don't stop. It's still going on. Moving on. The energy centers that we know to be the chakras of the subtle body are likened to a tree, which the aspirant climbs through personality integration, meaning you're getting better, you're going higher. I gave you the tree of life concept and the idea. Do you know a tree grows in both directions? It grows upward towards the sunlight, okay, reaching for the heights, but its roots go down into the earth to get deeper and deeper. Did you know that? I just got that information. See, stuff like that, if you study, you can learn about a whole lot of stuff. Who knew that? When I watched that little information, I get a chance to talk about it in a lesson. Who knew? Okay, but yeah, I thought that was cool. All right. They call it something, I forgot the name, but it goes in both directions. All right. But when you're in integration of personality, this leads to what? Intuitional realization. You start to feel intuitively. You start to just know things that you didn't study for. When you go into meditative state, you open up your mind to be interjected with what we call the Akashic records, information that you didn't study for. Aset represents your intuitive knowledge. She knows all. She was the good queen, a good mother, good everything. She was good at what she did. But in realization, coming to realization of what? The transcendent self, your higher self, God. When you come into communication with God, when you get to that point where you reach enlightenment, life changes for you. You see life at a whole different spectrum now. You seeing it for what it really is. The veil of ignorance has been lifted. Now you see it for what it is. That's the concept. And in this process of creation, the creative energy manifests in the form of what we call 6 planes of consciousness. From 1, the lower sacrum, 2, the belly button right there, the area, abdominal, 3, solar plex, 4, the heart, 5, the throat, 6, dun 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 dun. Third eye awakening. That's becoming conscious. That's knowing thyself. That's the goal. And the 7th chakra is outside. That's the crown chakra. That's when the 6 open up and all of a sudden, rockets go off, skyrockets in your mind. Now your mind is open to what? Know pretty much everything you need to know about yourself. This is they call the realm of phenomenal reality, because including physical, astral, and mental existence, most people exist on the level of what? The first 3 energy consciousness levels, like the beast, okay? Fight or flight, survival, sexual energy, and manipulation. Those are Satonian qualities. That's the ego self. That's what it knows. It don't go no higher. So the goal of all right thinkers who follow this concept is to unite what? The 6 phenomenal conscious centers, aka Kundalini or your chakras or serpent power, get it to rise to what? To reach the 7th, or what we call the transcendental realm of consciousness. You have been enlightened. You reach the state of Nihas, the highest level. You're in contact with what they call the absolute, the Brahman, the all. This absolute is what various religions refer to by what? Watch this. Different names, all the same, but names are different, such as, you ready? The kingdom of heaven for you Christians, Asar for the Egyptians, Krishna for the Indians, Brahma for the Vedics, and Dao for the Chinese, etc. Everybody got a word for it. So it's the same thing, but everybody call it different. Let me get this going. And Kundalini, energy, that's what flows throughout the thousands of nadas, or what we call energy channels, which is known as prana, chi, or ra, shekem. If any of the energy centers are blocked or oversensitized, what happens? You get disbalance. You lose your balance. And what? This can arise in causing illness of the mind and even the physical body. There are three most important channels through which Kundalini flows. These are, in India, the Sushana, the Shamana, the Ida, and the Pingala. That's the straight line. You got the serpents going up the side. Okay? We call it Aset and Netet and Asar. Same concept, just different name. But these are represented by what? The Egyptian, we call it the caduceus, or what we know, the staff of Tahuti, which is also composed of a staff which has two serpents wrapped around it. Moses out in the wilderness, he only had one serpent. The state of enlightenment is further described in the chapter 83 and 85 in the book of Coming Forth by Day, where it says what? You, the initiate, now realizes that the seven Uraeus, the deities or the bodies, the immortal parts of the spirit, have been what? Reconstituted, put back together. The seven Uraeuses are my body. My image is now eternal. It's all spiritual. The physical body is no longer there. The consciousness and the ignorance in the body will die. The seven parts will stay eternally. These seven Uraeuses are also described as what? Seven souls of Ra. And we got the seven arms of the balance of Maat. They are tied together. Maat was first. They came in behind and kicked it into another level, which is okay. Why? Same thing, same philosophy. But how does the practice of virtue affect the life force energy in any individual? Perfect question. Let me answer. When an individual lives life based on ignorance, set, the ego, in an imbalanced way, your energy is now dissipated and your mind is constantly agitated. So you're never at peace, you're never at rest. So the life force energy that could have been used to control your mind and direct it to what? Concentration, meditation, and discovering your divine qualities in yourself and find peace of mind has been lost. When the ego is in control, all bets is off. Such an individual will live a life filled of anxieties, worries, stress, restlessness, and previously described, you won't be at peace. You know them people, they always generate, they always got to go somewhere, they always late, they always got something to do, ain't never just focus on the moment. I see it all the time. I laugh. Those kind of people, you got to look at, boy, they need some help. But they believe they good, so you got to let them go. To me, it's like seeing a buddy floundering, in the water, and you want to save him. You want to throw him a lifeguard, you want to go help him. But no, I'm good. I can't tell. You look a little rough there, but when people say they're good, take them at their word and leave them be. If the energy that would have been used chasing after worldly possessions, sensual pleasures, physical body, cardinal virtues, the physical lust and love, and mental agitation, if it were to be conserved, saved, harnessed, supplemented, what happened? This very energy now will allow you, the individual, to be able to discover what? Increasing peace and happiness from where? Within. That's what happiness is, inside. Culminating in what? In you discovering of the innermost spiritual self. You get to find out what? Your higher self. Dun, 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 dun. The picture from the paparazzi in the Kenya shows, this is the picture right here. Wrapping up right here with this. I just showed you the picture earlier. This is the heart of Mayate. Mayat is being weighed against the feather. Mayat's feather, she actually here, and she getting weighed against your heart. You see Tahuti is up here in the baboon form. You see Anubis making sure the scales is right. And the two girls are sitting up there, watches on. This is what they tell you about right now. This is, now you got Tahuti over here, keeping track. See the moon gear? See here at the top here? Down here, at the scales. The heart of Maat against your feather. The feather of Maat against the heart of you. If that feather goes, the heart goes down, get to have his way. That means you're unrighteous and he get to eat your consciousness and your heart. And she is a female and she is big. Wow, a lot of people fail. That's why. And his job is just to eat the unrighteous and he just have his way. All right, but I just showed you the concept. Let me break it down right quick. I'm taking the name. You show you, the monster who devours the unrighteous, heavy-hearted. Notice that she, again, she's a woman, is biting the scales of Maat at the third circle right here. Okay, take note. 3 levels. First, fight or flight, sexual generation, and manipulation, ego. From here down, you didn't make it. You ain't getting in the game, okay? Because from here down, you fail. And they're going to thread it to you right quick. And I'm going to wrap it up. I'll be back with the next lesson for you. But let's take it on home right here. Now, it says here, these circles indicate the levels of spiritual evolution or your psychic spiritual energy centers. We call it chakras. Now, the green field papyrus, what we just showed you, shows the centers as a chain with 7 links. These centers refer to what we call the judgment of the heart of the initiate. Centers 1 to 3 indicate immature human beings who live to seek what? Sexual pleasures of the flesh. And the centers from 4 to 7 means they raise their conscious level. Now they're able to be judged. 3 down, you ain't even going into court. You ain't even making it in. That's what I'm saying. So from 4 up, you had to change your heart. You got empathy, compassion, start speaking Makadu, enlightenment. Because that way, your serpent lighten up the 6th chakra, your 3rd eye open up, pineal gland gets tickled. Now you good to go. But that's from 4 to 7. In masonry, the first 3 degrees, you're not a master mason. You don't know nothing about nothing. So you still vulnerable, still in the beastly nature. So that 4 to 7 degrees, raise your level up. That's the jet pillar of Asar's backbone. But that's another lesson. But the 4 to 7 means you raise your conscious level to be what? It indicates you, the individual, who are what? Progressing on the spiritual path of enlightenment. That's what you're going to be judged by. How Maat did you live? That's the lesson for now. I'll be right back with some more. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I enjoy giving them. And right thinkers, man, you all need to be 100. Me, 100 minds today. So I've never known that my right thinkers who know now how Maat and Serpent power, a.k.a. Kundalini and Chakras, have passed away. Learning more about yourself. Put what you learn into practice. That's what you're learning it for. I'll be right back.